I just want to say thank you to everyone who watches my YouTube channel. And if you don't think a Savannah monitor will play tug of war, you're wrong. Because they will. And they're actually really good at it. There we go. So if you guys like my videos, ooh, he's strong. Please go ahead and leave a like. That helps grow my channel. Also, please comment on my videos. I love interacting with you guys. It's a lot of fun, and I get to answer questions and see that you guys care. And if you're not a member of the family, you can go ahead and subscribe. It's free. It helps me grow the channel even more. And I've listened to you guys, and I do have a Patreon down below. Oh, alligator death roll. So please go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, bell icon. Okay, Reptile Rescue family. Today's episode is how a healthy bearded dragon should eat greens, okay? And everyone's getting hungry. It's feeding time. Look, everyone's excited. You think, oh, are they eating bugs? No, they're not eating bugs. They're going to be eating greens. We've got some multivitamin. Look at this. Look at that already. We've got multivitamin on here. So we're going to go ahead and feed. The greens should be a little bit wet, dripping, right? See that water? Because remember, most bearded dragons get their water from their greens. And we're going to go ahead and feed greens. And I'm going to show you me feeding everyone. But we should have that type of excitement, that type of appetite. Johnny Cage is already just going crazy for greens. This is the type of behavior you want to see when you feed greens. You want the reptile to be crazy and just dive into them and eat them. That's what we want to see. Sometimes the dragons don't want to eat greens. And guys, typically if your dragon doesn't want to eat green and you've tried the bee pollen trick, you have to try different. I just watched Johnny Cage jump off his hammock to go crazy. You have to try different greens until you find the greens that your bearded dragon actually likes. Mine, I got lucky. They seem to love turnip greens. And I do find that typically turnip greens are liked the most, but not inclusive. Some bearded dragons will not eat them, so it's not all. But there's, the three big greens, I'll call them. The big greens. Collard greens, turnip greens, and mustard greens. These are the big three. Collard greens are really big, thick, fibrous greens. And bearded dragons, I've not had much luck, but some seem to like that. Mustard greens are the other one that people have some luck with, and those are like a little bit curly and have a good flavor to them. And then turnip greens are kind of the in-between. Oh yeah, there you go. And bearded dragons like them. That's what I'd be good. But you can try those three. Those three are to start. Also, arugula is typically really good. If you can get baby arugula, even better. But sometimes it happens to be expensive. If you can try the three big greens, if you get lucky, then those are the ones you're going to want to go with. All right, let's go over. What's up, Johnny Cage? So sometimes, though, your bearded dragon is a bit of a butt, and he doesn't want to eat greens from a food bowl. Now, in this case, we don't have any problems with Johnny Cage. He'll dip right in. He'll grab them. He'll eat them. But let's pretend we had a bearded dragon that was being a pain. The technique I like to do is the roll technique. I take a couple leaves, and you can look at these leaves. I've just done a light rip, and I take them, and I roll them. You make a little roll, dip them in the water and in that, and then I can use this to move around and move it wiggle it in front of the dragon's face. This is typically done with kids, right? When you have a spoon and you've got food on it, and you're like, here comes the spaceship, or here comes the airplane, and boom. And as soon as they open their mouth and they stick their tongue out, even to get a smell of it, let's say, that's when you don't shove it down their throats, but you just go ahead and you just place it into the mouth. Watch as I do this again. See if I can zoom in. And then that normally will show them, hey, this is food, and hey, this tastes good. Move it around. He opens. We missed, and then boom. That time we got it. Of course, he had to move to the side because he always wants to be complicated. But that stacking 2 or 3 of these little greens together, giving us a nice tight roll, presenting the roll. Look at his eye. Look at his eye right there. Just focus. He's like, what the heck is that? Moving it around and in for the kill. Just like that. Right into the open mouth. Not down the throat. Just right on the tongue. and then they're going to take care of the rest. That's a great way to get them used to eating greens. And let's say they were going to eat one and done and they don't like it. Well, because you've stacked a couple, they're getting that benefit where they didn't just eat one little nub. And by rolling it like that, you also guarantee when you slide this in the your water slushy, right? When you just slide this through, inside of here, you have all this water and all these vitamins and everything. So you know that they're getting more water and they're getting more vitamins. And normally, you can help them eat more greens than they would normally eat this way, but still not overstuffing them. Now, how do you want to know that you fed enough or not too much? You don't want to overfeed them. It's important. Archie, stay over here. I'm just getting him ready. It's important that when you're feeding your bearded dragon like this, can you... Psycho. She always goes psycho for greens. They're going to come to a point where they're not full, but they just need a break. So you'll put the greens in front of them and they just won't eat. Now for me, this is fine because I can focus on one bearded dragon. I can, start feeding them and wait till they get to this point, and then I can go on to feeding the next one. Well, then I circle back and offer them food again. And the second time when I circle back, it's been, 5, 6, 7 minutes since they had eaten. So everything's settled down. Any food that was in their gullet is out of their gullet, so they got more room. You bit this piece off. Hi. Thank you. And offer them food again. And that's just important because sometimes people will be like, okay, we're done. And if you're doing this method of hand feeding, oh God, Mongo sees the greens. He's starting to go crazy. If you're doing this method of hand feeding like this, which is typically good enrichment and gets them eating, a lot of times people stop feeding too soon, because if you only have that one bearded dragon, you feed them the food, and then the bearded dragon stops. So then the person assumes, okay, I'm done, and either stops feeding or goes to do something else, and you don't come back for that second pass. And that second pass is really important because there's typically they've let everything settle and they can keep eating, right? Think about it like humans, guys. When you're eating and you're not full, but you got to take a minute, you got to take a sip, you got to let everything settle, and then you can get back to eating. Okay, Mongo, in just a second. He's over there head bobbing right now like crazy to let me know that he's ready to eat. So if we look at Archie, she's slowed down. She's still looking at food, but she's still got food in her mouth. I'm going to let her chew that up. And then let's see if she'll eat again once she swallows that down. Also, the nice thing by rolling it, guys, is it gives it some depth, right? It gives it some... So they're not just eating one piece and feels nothing. See how she's not moving around for this? She's still got food in her gullet. It's really... Her beard is really down right now. I'm going to feed Mongo, and then we're going to come back to her. Look, there's Mongo, and there's his black beard. And everyone talks about, oh, the black beard is because they want a mate, or he's upset, or he's dominant. No, his beard is black because he's so excited because it's time for him to eat. And we're going to give him food, and he dropped it. That's okay. And normally what you'll watch, guys, is you'll see the transformation of the beard from a black beard to like a white beard when he's all full. It's pretty fascinating, actually. For people who don't understand the beard, and I get why people don't understand the black beards and bearded dragons, because the literature is all really old, and the literature just tells you it's when they're aggressive or they're upset, and that's all. That was written one time, and everyone's run with it, and no one reevaluates anything. So I don't know how well the camera will show this, but his beard is already starting to lighten a little bit, which is nice, but he's still got, oh, geez. Good God, still got some more food to go. And what I've noticed is the darker his beard will get, it's actually like the more favorite his food is, which is interesting. I'm just going to keep feeding, and we're just going to keep seeing that beard just change right before our very eyes. Yeah, very good. I'm going to pause and just keep feeding, but you can see his beard is lightening just because he eats a lot. So I try to make my videos, guys, between 8 and 10 minutes. I don't want to bore you guys. I know we're about 9 minutes. Mongo's beard is almost completely white now. He's almost completely full. Again, just more to disprove about the black beard, how it doesn't only show up when they're upset or things like that, and you know, it shows up for any high emotions. Oh, and he's all done. He's going to suck everything out of his gullet. His beard is like a whitish gray now. It's not pitch black, and it's just it. He's just full. Very good. And here we're back to Archimedes. Now let's see if she'll actually go for some more food. There we go. But hopefully this has helped you guys. If you were having trouble feeding, you do this little roll technique, and it'll give them some substance, and you kind of just play the flying saucer game with them, you know, and hopefully they go for it. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Take care, everybody. Thank you guys for supporting my reptile rescue family.